Friends joining me on the line after over about a year, ladies and gentlemen, from Great White, Mr. Mark Kendall is on the line. How you doing, sir?
Doing good.
Hey, so Mark, when last we met, you guys were just starting to get back out on the road. Pandemic-wise, things were kind of, starting to start back up again. Where's Great White and where's Mark Kendall now? How's life treating you?
Great. Shows are going good. People have learned about the safety thing and everything. And it seems like everybody's back out enjoying themselves again, coming to shows. And, we usually have a good night. A lot of loyal fans and, we've been out playing. So it's been a great year so far.
How have things been different for Great White over the last year? Like, I re-listened to the interview we did about a year ago. It was a little more than a year,
Yeah.
but it really was. It was like, hey, we're getting ready to go back out. We're just coming off of this stuff. I've been writing, been doing stuff with the band. Over the last year, what's been the big news for Great White, I guess, is a good way to ask it.
Basically, we just been doing more shows, doing a lot of writing. The pandemic seems like it's getting further behind us, so that makes things easier. And that's about it, really. Just continuing to be creative, and I've been coming up with a lot of new music, so we're excited about that.
Great White
rocking and rolling.
There you go. Great White coming to the Wild Rose Resort and Casino in Jefferson on the... I had the date here a second ago, and I lost it. 25th. Sorry about that. I knew it was Friday, and I was like, oh, man, I can't think of what the date is. What can we expect from the show coming up on next Friday? If people are going to show up, Great White is going to do this to them.
Just big energy, like we always do. When we get on stage, we save our energy for that moment and bring the crowd in and, try to make them feel a part of it right out of the gate. They can expect everything that they want to hear and more. So, we try to give everybody their money's worth, do some things that they might not expect, and also, of course, we're going to play all the hits and everything. A couple deeper cuts, some extended jams and stuff that kind of bring the crowd into the show more. And
when you guys are talking about this as a band, I mean, you guys have been doing this for a while now. Is there any talk of like, hey, how do we change things up? What do you guys want to do a little different tonight? What is there those conversations, or is it just we've been doing this? It's like an old shoe. Let's just go put it on, and everything will be fine.
What we've noticed is, having 14 studio albums, that we can grab a song here and a song there and just kind of insert it into the set, and it really gives you a whole different look just by adding like 3 songs to the set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we don't have to do anything like super crazy to make it a different show. It's just that's what we've noticed over the years. It's just by adding and taking away a couple and trying a couple other ones. It really gives you a different look to the show.
After all these years of doing it, is there still surprises with that? Like, maybe in, Louisville, one song works better than another and you just can't figure out why, or is there stuff like that on your tours?
There still is. And believe it or not, as many times as we played Rock Me and all the songs, for it being a different audience every night, there's a different vibe to each show. Because I've been asked a million times, don't you get tired of playing, whatever, Once Bitten, Twice Shy or Rock Me? And I'm like, no, because, the fans are a little different each show, the vibe of the place. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's, it makes it seem fresh all the time, to me.
No, it makes total sense because, with a classic rock station that, like KGGO that you're on now in the Midwest, certain things work better here than they do on the East Coast or West Coast. The music changes a little bit, so it makes absolute sense. It really does.
Through the decade of the 90s where our stuff was, I guess, I don't know how many times rock and roll has died, but, it seems to come and go over I remember back in the 70s where they were saying that rock was dead then, and then it died again, and, But there's something to say about when it comes back and sounds super fresh. It's pretty amazing. The songs have a lot to say, because the ones that have stood the test of time. There's always a freshness to it when you're not just pummeled by it nonstop. It's like when it goes away for a minute and then say some other kind of music is swimming by and you're starting to hear a lot of that. And then when you go back and hear a Sabbath tune or just anything, you're like, holy cow, I remember this. This is killer,
Yeah.
At least me being a fan, I've, gone through that where I haven't heard something for a long time. And then all of a sudden I'll hear Highway Star like out of the blue, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a teenager again,
Yeah.
When you get up and go to school and you put on Highway Star, it's like, oh my God. It just pumps you full of energy.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Where do you think rock is right now then? It just has kind of a whole, it's different than it was 10 years ago. It's different than it was 20 years ago and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Is rock at a good place right now? Is it coming back? Is it going away? Where do you think it is?
The world has changed for sure without there being all the mediums that we used to have, like MTV, the radio playing new material, record stores and whatnot. But as far as the bands go, I'm starting to see young bands that are actually out there, tuning their guitars and playing their instruments without the aid of tape. And it's really refreshing. A couple of years ago, we played with Greta Van Fleet, and these guys just put on their guitars, plug straight in, and play. So that's refreshing. And I'm starting to see a little more of that, which I really like, because these are guys that are kind of like us in the sense that we met different people and we got together in our garage and, we were horrible and then we got a little better and a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, so they kind of remind me of that type of old school where there's that human connection. And I'm starting to see more of that now, which is, I think is healthy when there's things about the past that I think that are healthy things, like you have to leave your house to promote your band,
Yeah.
with staple guns and flyers, those type of things, getting together with people and jamming, and you keep doing it until you get better, those type things. I don't know. It just seems like it's a healthy way to do it. I think that you're starting to see more of that with the younger bands because they're influenced by older bands. They're fans of, say Deep Purple or whatever, know, and that's really reaching back for them. For us, we have to reach back to like Robert Johnson and, B.B. King,
Yeah.
But for them, Deep Purple is old school, So I think they're influenced by that when they see guys that can really play guitar and really sing and, So the mediums have changed, but I think it's nice for me to look at bands that are actually, playing and, oops, I'm out of tune a little bit.
Yeah.
Not so perfect,
It makes sense. We talk about it in radio, the power of the handshake, of going out and meeting, being out and meeting people. So yeah, that makes total sense. Mark Kendall from Great White on the line with me right now. They're going to be playing at Wild Rose Casino next Friday on the 25th. We'll have details about it and ticket information at the bottom of the page. Mark, if you're going to leave folks, some of these bands that are starting out, some of these younger rock bands, what's the piece of advice you give most?
One of the things on the business end that I've told up-and-comers is to make sure when you're presented with an opportunity to be, like, say, on a major label and you're going to go record and you're going to have a producer and a manager and all this stuff, it's so exciting because you're coming out of smaller situation, playing a club or, maybe a party even. And so I usually tell them to have their own lawyer. In other words, don't use your manager's lawyer, your agent's lawyer. Get your own. That way they can explain to you in detail what you are signing and maybe make some changes for you that will benefit you in the long run. We've done deals that weren't so great, made mistakes like that. I know really big bands like Chicago, Grand Funk, there's story after story, Eagles, where even at times signed away their publishing. I know Tom Petty fought back with that because of the bad deals he made, but just to eliminate having to fight later, sign the right thing from the beginning. And I could see how easy it is just to sign your name on something and go, oh, these guys know what they're doing,
Yeah.
We're going to be playing arenas and we're going to be, going around the world, and this is a great opportunity. Don't worry about all that stuff. You should be worried because it can be really long-term and hurt you for a long time if you don't sign the right thing. The other thing is be more concerned about getting good on your instrument than rock stardom, you know what I mean? Because
yes, I do.
All that is just kind of a journalist tag that they put you on, oh, you're a rock star. Now, we don't go around going, oh, yeah, we're rock stars, We're musicians, that are trying to improve. We want to get better, So we don't think in the terms of rock star, but maybe a young-minded kid might go, yeah, I want to be a rock star. What does that really mean? Do you want to be popular, or do you want to get better at what you do? So I think it's important to, take lessons. I'm talking about the real upstarts that have a dream, take lessons, try to get really good on your instrument, and, hopefully the stars line up for you. But down the road, if you do get a big opportunity, I just like to let them, some of the mistakes that I've made, I'm trying to help them in those areas.
No, it's funny. I don't know what I was expecting. It wasn't that, but all of that is absolutely true on so many levels. I love it. Mark Kendall, part of Great White, going to be at Wild Rose Casino this Friday the 25th. Mark, we wish you nothing but the best, and next time you're around town, let us know, okay?
Okay, Adam. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for everything you guys do.
No problem. Take care, Mark. We'll see you Friday.
Bye-bye.